Hi drummers, hope you're well. So just a little update for you here about the remote drum lessons that I'm now offering through Zoom and Skype. I've been doing them for about a week or so, right? So I started last Sunday and I've been blown away. It's been absolutely brilliant. I've been doing them both with my regular face-to-face students who I normally teach, but also with a whole load of new students as well. And it's been a really cool thing, man. Just wanted to mention a couple of questions people have had about it and clear a couple of things up. So I've been sent lots of questions, so I'll wrap through these as quick as I can. So firstly, how does it work? Well, it works, I'm like this, I'm sitting on this kit here and I'm playing my V drums. I can't really play anything else at the minute because obviously, well, if you're in the UK, like me, you'll be at home and you're not really allowed to go anywhere at the minute, so I'm on my V drum kit and lessons will be from here. I actually think this setup works great for the remote sessions for some of the reasons that I'll get to in a second. Basically, having tested it for a week on Zoom, Skype and FaceTime, it seems to me like Zoom is a real clear winner. I thought the visual streams better, the audio comes through better, so default mode now is doing these sessions by Zoom. If you do want to do Skype or a different one that suits you better, that's fine. The best result has been with Zoom. Next question I've been asked a lot is, are you taking on new students? Yes, I am. So I've been working with my regular guys I've been seeing before, but also new people as well, and that will be just on a first come, first served basis. So the link to booking for the sessions is below. Check that out and book in if you like. With the new students, lots of people have asked me, will these sessions continue after the sort of corona situation has passed, which of course it will, hang in there, of course it will. Yes, I will be continuing this, and actually this has been brilliant doing these sessions. It's been super cool, and I will be continuing the online sessions, probably in this format, honestly, after the corona thing kicks off. So if you're one of my face-to-face students, don't worry, we're still going to continue those lessons when everything settles down. I'll be back in my studio and we'll be doing those. But these sessions will definitely continue as well. So for people who want the online lessons, I think it works great. Clearly there's loads we can do with it. I've been pleased with how it's worked. So yes, these sessions will continue afterwards. So I know originally I said until the end of April, but these sessions will definitely continue afterwards. Cool. People ask a lot about the audio setup. Do I need to use an interface? What do I do to get this to work? So my advice is basically keep it as simple as you possibly can. I am doing that. So I'm just using my phone here to Zoom. I've got an iPhone 11 Pro, so it's a nice one, but I'm basically just using that. The setup will be exactly what you're seeing and hearing here. So you're hearing my voice right now in the room, just with the mic on the camera, and the kit I'm just playing is the V drum kit. As you can hear, I'm just playing it through the amp. So yeah, okay, so you can hear a bit of donk of me hitting the pad, but actually I think that's totally fine for the stuff that we're doing. I'm not performing here, so the way I see it is it's a perfectly suitable way for the information to pass between us, so I don't really see that as an issue at all. We've experimented with using the interface at my end and using an interface at the student end. It has worked and it's kind of cool, but there's lots of times where there's a delay and it just takes a bit more time to set up, and there's also lots of times when it kind of hasn't really worked or it's cut out and stuff like that. So my opinion on it is, after having do it for a week, doing it for the last week, just keep it as simple as you can. So the best solutions, the best results seem to be me on this setup here. You guys, whoever I'm working with, either on electronic kit and ideally coming through an amp or a speaker of some sort, but kind of fairly low level. The problem with it is as you crank your amp up more and more is the audio can cut out on Zoom and Skype. So just, yeah, the in-the-room sound is a perfect way of doing it. It's a very, very low tech. If you've got an amp, great. Just turn the sound up a little bit so we can hear the tones from the kit. But basically, as long as I can see what's going on, I would suggest just getting your setup sorted so I can clearly see your kit and your playing in the same way that you can here with mine. That's absolutely fine. Some people say that they just use headphones on their electronic kit and they can't make any noise out loud. To be honest, that's fine as well. Like, again, if I can see what you're doing, that's absolutely fine. Like, I can totally imagine like the kit sounds. That's not a big deal at all. We can do so much as long as I can see what you're doing. Then the audio isn't a big deal. Even if you're just hearing, like, so say that your kit isn't coming through an amp, you're just hearing. I mean, you can still see what I'm playing, right? And for me, like, we're working with you guys, that's absolutely fine. We can work with that. It doesn't need to be high tech at all. And any other questions? No, I think that's kind of it, man. They're the main ones. So just to be super clear, yes, I am taking on new students as well as existing ones. Yes, these lessons will continue after the corona situation has passed on. So if we get cracking and you like working in this way, we can continue to work together afterwards if you want to. And then in terms of the audio setup, honestly, simple is best, man. Let's have something that just works and doesn't get in the way, doesn't cause any hold up in our session. The sound in the room is fine. Point your computer or your phone or your tablet, whatever, at your kit. Just the acoustic sound is great. If you've got an electronic kit, ideally have it running through an amp and just turn the volume up a little bit so I can hear the tones of the kit. Not too loud so you don't want it to cut out. If you don't have any acoustic sound coming from the kit, that's also fine. As long as I can see what's happening, totally fine. There were loads of successful sessions like that. I should have said this earlier, if you're an acoustic kit, also fine. You might find, depending on the room and stuff, that the acoustic kit causes the audio to cut out a little bit. At my end, not a problem at all. Two options. One is just use some softer sticks, like if you've got hot rods, that kind of stuff, that can work. If you're working on stick technique, you might want to use the real sticks. So that might not be the best solution, but that is one solution. The second one is put on the dampener pads if you have them on your kit. So the classic sort of rubber pads people put on the kit. I know it kills the vibe a bit, but again, remember, this is a learning environment. This isn't performance. That's totally fine. Again, it comes back to that thing. If I can see what's going on, absolutely fine. We can have a perfectly successful session like that. And finally, if you don't have dampener pads or hot rods aren't suitable, and you are just playing the kit and it's loud and it causes the audio to drop down at my end, that's basically fine as well. Again, to repeat, as long as I can see what you're doing, we can totally make this work. Whether you use computer or tablet or phone doesn't really matter. I quite like using the phone for this reason, right? Because depending on what we're talking about, I can always do this, right? So someone says, can we talk about kick drum technique? Yes, we can. I can just do this. I move it down here and you can see what I'm doing on my kick. I can move it around. I can put things in different positions. If you want to see hi-hat and this angle, I can do that. So probably, given the choice, I would say use your phone if you can for that reason, because then we can move it around and see different things, but they all work just fine. And hopefully that covers the main questions that have come up. Any other questions, let me know. Give us a shout. Booking in link is below, and hope that covers it. I look forward to working with you. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much.